Hello everybody, welcome back to Crazy for Retro. It's so nice that you stopped by today. I hope you're doing well. Norm says hello. I'm going to be just showing you around our fall decor in the living room here by myself. No crazy comments from Norm. I decided that it would be kind of fun to show you my big collection from many years back that I started looking for splatter glaze hobbyist pieces and a lot of the drip glaze California pots. I have so many of them because I just couldn't resist. They were pretty cheap many years ago. I think they were a pretty wild color in the 80s and even into the 90s. So I really did find some great deals, and now I'm having a lot of fun finding the splatter glaze hobbyist pieces in thrift stores still for very, very inexpensive prices. This is I'm going to get down here closer. This is such a low coffee table. I've shown this little leaf dish before. They're so cheap. 99 cents, $1.99, things like that. This one, oh, maybe I think I might have found this a couple years ago. It's not a huge one, so I'm just using some faux succulents. This one I thought was just adorable, having a tray. It is detachable. Very fun splatter for fall. They do get heavy when I put all those beans in them. I worry about this glass tabletop sometime, but it's pretty well supported with the wood. And then I find some of these little California odd pieces at thrift stores too. This was from up your alley, I believe. A beautiful California gold, fancy gold trimmed leaf tray. I would love to find more like that aren't too big to put around here. I kind of keep my eyes open for them. I thought I would take out again some of my crazy pillows for fall. I'm going to zoom in on this one on the end. This was at my brother's house. I'm not sure what you call that again. They used to make a lot of furniture that looked like that, kind of a crushed velvety look. Is that what you would call it? In fun olive green and orange on just a neutral background and a plain back on it, green. But I've always loved the knitted and crocheted ones. They're my favorite. Another crazy crushed velvet, I think that's what you call it. So let's go look at the shadow box. I'll show you what I've got up there. As many of you realize from previous videos that we did refurbish this shadow box. It was all sprayed gold. So Norm put a new mirror on it, and I put this fun washi tape, or is it washi? I don't remember exactly how it's spelled. I've been calling it washi tape, but maybe that's not correct. And if you see dust up there, I apologize because I did not find time to take all those down and dust that. I worry so much about bumping that mirror. It's such a narrow shelf. So I've been looking for the little hobbyist pieces. Some of them are not in these little miniature vases. I know there's an awful lot in the background that's the mirror is picking up, but hopefully you can get an idea what some of them look like. I'll go down the row here. I even have a tiny little owl vase. He's so cute. I really like these three in the middle. I think they're something else. Very rich colors. So that's what I have in the shadow box. I've had shown in videos. I have shown in videos the horse collection that I have in different colors. Some of them are, I think, a little more springy looking, and some are more dramatic because they're black. Blacks or browns. This is a very large vase I found up north a couple years ago, a couple summers ago. It was only $10 and it's quite large. Norm spray painted this crazy ashtray. It was really corroded looking, or it's not brass, and we cannot find brass, metallic brass spray paint right now. It's just been ridiculous how the metallics and a lot of paint is missing at the hardware stores. It's really crazy. I don't know what's causing it. We haven't looked it up to see what could be the cause, but there were some things I wanted to have look like brass. That is just metallic gold. The wings lift up. It was from my brother's house. I think I forgot to tell you that. The back wings lift up, and I ended up with 3 pieces this year that were where the crazy brass animal, you lift up the back wings or body part and top, and it's an ashtray. I know he's kind of ugly, but I still had to show you. I found these 2 owls last year. This one is a flatter finish vase and heavy. This one is lighter weight, and it's a bank. A Japan bank, I believe. Now, these are new. New to me, new to us. I may have shown them last fall. I honestly can't remember, but Norm surprised me with them. I saw them in an antique shop, and I thought they were really fun for fall decor. You know, I have 4 sets of vintage black shiny horsehead bookends and 1 pair of lime green ones. So I do have some more brown or golden colored ones now. I have a monster drip glaze vase on both sides here that has just been sitting upstairs on the floor in my owl bedroom, and I decided to take down all the milk glass that was up here. It was a bit of a challenge finding somewhere to store it, but I did nicely, even displayed in my pink and orange bedroom upstairs. So those are more vases that I found over the recent years. And the brown one is new. It is quite dark, I know, compared to all the other items, but I think it looks nice mixed in. It looked new to me. I was not familiar, but on the very bottom, it is imprinted, the bottom edge that shows, not the bottom that it sits on. It says pottery craft. So that's something I guess I'm gonna have to look up. I did hear some other thrifter mention it in a thrift store when they ran across it. And I found this for maybe $5 in a thrift store. Could be 5 years ago. It's kind of fun. Probably hobbyist. It's gonna be hard to reach up here. This is a bean pot look, I think. I've had that for a very long time, and that's one of my fun birds. I'll come back down again to give my arms a rest. And that bookend there, that horse is on each side. I've shown it before, and this is what Norm spray painted for me. I showed it in a thrift haul. It was very cheap in a thrift store, but it was in very poor condition. It was a white pearly color and really bad looking, so we could not find a bittersweet orange to spray it like the original on the other side. I'll get to that over there later. It's more of a bittersweet, but I didn't care that they were two different colors. This is a very fun footed drip glaze, California pottery piece. I have the same shape in a lime green with the same kind of colors dripped on it. So I'm just using some bark chips that I explained maybe it was in the summer when I did a video, that I had discovered you could buy that. It's bedding for small animals at the pet shops, and I thought that would look very nice and lightweight, easy to use. I didn't get around to showing you this awful looking one. It always makes me think it's spooky because it looks like it's bleeding. Isn't that crazy? These are two really bright pots. The others up here are all much more of the what I like to call bittersweet. The one in the middle, it's quite a bit bigger with the yellow drip on it. That bottom is more red. There is a lot of red, of course, but I don't know, I guess I'm kind of saying the basic color that they end up is much richer than the ones down below on the mantle that I was just showing you. There's such varieties. I like that one, and I really love this a little more of a splatter red base on that one with the black all over. Very, very dotted. It's really neat, very round. And again, these are really bright. I like the pattern on the mold of that one very much. I've often had these two hanging in the window when I've shown my long beaded plant hangers that I made in our living room window. They matched very nicely in size, and they weren't too heavy. So that's what I used to use for that. And there's the other horse, my green Roadrunner, and there's a fun pot that I found last year. A lot of people would look at that and think, oh, that's really ugly. Kind of boring, green. But you know, when you mix things all together and you're mixing them with very hot colors, it's nice, I think, to have those drab looking greens. I like limey green and chartreuse like this. That was a very fun piece several years ago that I found. Hobbyist candy dish. That is so cute. So crazy, but cute. And I just found this. I did show it in a thrift haul recently. I thought it was such a deal. Then I didn't take it when it was much higher price. There's the other monster vase way up there. California. I got them so cheap you wouldn't believe it. Nobody knew what they were at the thrift store, evidently. And then a couple more. A hobbyist piece and another California original there. And then in the middle, that's L.E. Smith, was it? That did those it's a slag. I never can remember what that is. Is it a bittersweet? They call that one too, or I can't remember. Slag glass. This one really reminds me of a pumpkin. And there's one of the brighter limey green ones. They're pretty good sized pots. There's my newly thrifted little strawberry planter I just found. And I've had this tiny one. This is probably my smallest one. Oh, for probably 5 years. Really like that. And I've always liked this footed one too. Very fun. A couple of my horses. The brown one was thrifted, a real steal, and this one was from an antique shop a few years ago. Very nice. Really reasonable. And I got this beautiful bird. We were on a trip to Winona and La Crosse, Wisconsin. I got it in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Maybe it was a $9.99 one, but sure is a fun one with lots of gold. I've seen that mold done in many different colors. Well, a lot of blues or greens. And they didn't have gold on them. Now, this too is a really crazy new pair of horse bookends. These were $20 in Hudson, Wisconsin, downtown Hudson, Wisconsin. There's an antique shop. Aren't they wild though? I've got a pair in black. And I do like those too, but I was really surprised to see that color combination. I wish they hadn't done such a spotty brown, but they're still fun. Very fun. There's the bittersweet color. It's pretty textured too. Fun bird. The other one is shorter that actually goes with it that I've never seen in the wild. And it's shorter and it's looking up at that taller bird there. So that's what's over here. Let's go look at this television down here. But before we look at the TV, I wanted to show you again. I've shown this really big splatter lime green hobbyist piece, I'm assuming. My brother had that and gave it to me. So that is a faux cacti in there. And I've never had very good luck for some reason growing the Sansevieria. Is that what you call the yellow striped mother-in-law's tongue, snake plant, all those. So those are two really big, bright colored pots again, bright orange. Now, this is new to us. My brother had this in his living room. We are selling furniture out of his living room. He had a lot of it. And we were worried that it was going to get broken. It's a pretty valuable couple of pieces that I've always admired, but I've never really felt I would have room for it anywhere. The Matador and Bull have been made probably back in the 60s, do you think? More so? In every size imaginable, I would think. It looks like the glaze is a little drippy. It's hard to see, a little slight two-tone on it, but there's no damage on these two. And my brother had said he had wanted a pair of those for a very long time, and he was happy when he finally found them. And I don't really know. I should have asked him how long ago did he purchase these, and I should have asked him to where he got them if he can remember. he's got a pretty good memory. He is feeling a little better. He's eating better. We're very grateful for that because I don't know if I told you or not, but he went through 2 hospitalizations with pneumonia. So he's 77 years old, and that's very, very hard to bounce back from. So thank you for your prayers and thoughts about my brother. So many of you have commented, and we sure appreciate that. That's so sweet of you. This was at his house too. We had purchased it many, many years ago. I did talk about it in a thrift haul when it was showing behind me. Not the one I just did last week, but a prior one when I was sitting in here for the first time. It does work, but I can't get a picture where we're located here. I don't know if it's because we're very near a huge water tower for our city, one of at least 2 that our city has. It's only a couple blocks as the crow flies, so I don't know if that could be the problem or not, but we did get a manual online for this. I'll go get the manual. But you can get it to come on, and you get the wavy lines, of course, but I just can't pull up a channel yet. We'll probably have it looked at sometime. That would be fun. Haven't had the time right now. I'll go get the manual. This is actually, well, it does say owner's manual. It's so small, but it's a very small cardboard. Not cardboard, but, you know, stiff paper. So cute. I cannot believe that they showed this lady carrying this thing. You wouldn't believe how heavy it is. That's a joke. Maybe if there was nothing inside of it. That's just terrible. Norm was complaining even. So it is from St. Paul, Minnesota. New Brighton is a city within the St. Paul area. But yeah, it's really fun seeing these pictures and reading about it. We'll have to find somebody in the Twin Cities. You know, I actually found a video just last week of somebody totally refurbishing this exact model. It was really fun. Model C105. Yeah. So it's funny that there are people out there working on them. Yeah. Well, I don't want to bore you too much, but there's the warranty. I'm sure it's no good now, but thanks for looking at that with me. I asked Norm to do something different with the shelving. There's no way that you will be able to tell what is different other than the fact that he had to cut the bottom shelf off right there in order to fit in that little vintage laminate table. That's the only little table we had that would fit the television in a very nice proportionate manner. You know, we've got much bigger end tables around here, but I thought we should squeeze it in, centering it in the living room because it's just where it would be, you know, if you were sitting over here in Norm's recliner, not where this chair is in front of it here, but it's so nice to see it when you walk in the living room. It's not tucked over in a corner. So I had to give up part of that shelving down there, which is no big deal. But we left it over on the other side. So that's what it used to look like. Now the other thing that I asked Norm to do, I really keep this guy busy, don't I? These shelves here were about over to the top of the horse, the green horse, much longer. I was thinking I only had a small space over there where the brown horse is. And I really didn't need, you know, a whole bunch of things. I just wanted open spaces like that for taller items. So he cut that one off and he cut that one off, and see how it opened up the corner over here. I was very happy. I asked him to do crazy things like that, and could you saw the end of this off? And I always got him sawing shelves to fit somewhere, but he's got a wonderful table saw, so it worked out just great. I like it much better. Okay, while I'm over here in this corner, I'm going to show you another very bright orange drip glazed California planter down here, pot. And I've been growing since this early winter, I think, a couple of succulents, and they're really doing well. I'll probably end up giving them up sometime again because plants just get too big. This I showed in the last thrift haul. My fun lime green. Hope I can show some of the green. It's really hard when you get in this window over here because everything is backlit. You can probably see that. That was $5 at the Goodwill this past summer. I was so happy about that. And my Dracaena, and these were thrifted. I mentioned that I was going to put one on each side. I forget, I think they're Homeco or Burwood, who knows. I can't remember all these plaques, but they are so fun. They're folk art, considered folk art, tree of life. So I'm going to tell you about those two succulents in a minute. There's just some of the glass that I've found over the years, a lot of it thrifted. This looks crazy, but I set this smaller vase with the hobnail base on it on top of a little ashtray turned upside down. I thought that ashtray was so cute. I found it at a thrift store. So I just turned it upside down to raise up that little, short little vase. I do love orange glass, and Norm does too. So these are some more pieces that I've gotten over the years. Really cheap. And a couple of glass pumpkins. This was a gift from my cousins that I was talking about in my fruit-themed kitchen video. I mentioned about my cousin Mary, who has been doing missionary work in Honduras, and how they had, her and her sister Pam and their mom had all these beautiful glass items from Pam and Mary's uncle Miles, and he had given them a lot of it, and then they wanted me to look at some of it too before they decided to donate some items. And so this was one of the pieces that they did not keep. Lucky me, huh? Thank you again, dear cousins. That's very pretty. Okay, I'm going to go over here and show you the other succulent that is growing like crazy because I have such a sunny window, and I'll tell you what they are. I decided to transplant out of their original tiny pots, they were getting so big, and put them both in a nice planter. This one I think is Gollum. Gollum, not sure. But it doesn't show green in the picture. I mean, orange on the top. It says it's an indoor-outdoor. It's very much, to me, along the lines of a jade plant, only so much longer. Crazy, isn't it? That's pretty wild. And I have pulled off some off the bottoms because that's the way I like it. I don't like them to get too full looking. I like things to stay spikier, so I'm brave enough to break off pieces. You know, you can do that. A lot of people even start new plants by doing that. But the other one, you see how neat the tops are on that? I think it would do that outside, not in my living room. Even though it's in a sunny window, I don't think that will happen. So that one was over there, and to me they look very much the same. It's just, it's possible a tag may have even gotten mixed up. I thought I was buying two of the same plant. Isn't that crazy? Have you ever done that? You get home and then you find a tag in there that says something different, and you think, oh well. This used to be a bird cage that I wanted years ago. Found it in an antique shop. It ended up at my brother's house again for a very long time, probably 20 years. And I decided to take it back home here again so I could show you. He just doesn't want much of anything in his house to deal with anymore. So we brought it back home, and Norm refurbished the base. It was black, but it was getting a little rusty. The gold band you see there, that's the tray you pull out. And we had 3 of these cups. It only needs 2 of the vintage glass cups, but I do have a spare one. And he had the wooden swing in it that you can't take out, and wooden perches that I took out that were quite dark and old. And what I wanted to do was put in my last year's find of a Metlocks, is it? I'll put a note again in the bottom. These parakeets, it's a planter. I think what I'll do is try the light. But anyways, I had shown these on the mantle in the spring. So I just thought it would be fun. I know it's a little more covered up because of the mesh on the bottom base, but I see them in there, and I just think it's fun that they're parakeets. And then I just found this one in a central Minnesota antique shop that we would love to video sometime. We did talk to the owner about it. It was the parakeet was right when you come in the door, and it's just adorable. The colors on this parakeet are so sweet. It was $10 for the parakeet. Just what I was hoping to find, a real budgie. My cousin Linda, I've mentioned before, she just got a new bird because she lost one. She had 2. Usually they should have a friend, so I just put a little fern in there. But this adorable bird cage is so small, and I can't remember what the price was. I'll put a note down there too. So cute, really tiny. So I'm just doing something different for a change in here, just to have fun, pretending I got pets. They're just so cool. I wanted to enjoy them for a while. Instead of having plants all the time in the window, they're very backlit because it's so sunny out right now. But you get the idea. So I apologize for them being so dark, but there's no other way to do it. There's the other folk art plaque. They're fun for a change. Norm lightly sprayed them on the top, just lightly gold. They were very dark. Down here, I still have the light on my camera, and I think I'll do that because this is kind of a dark corner. I found this a couple years ago. Very different. Drip glaze. Pillar candle holder. I've always liked it. And this I actually weekend many years ago. I saw it on eBay. I think it was really reasonable, pretty good size, and I bought that. But I don't typically do that. It's more fun finding stuff in thrift stores like this crazy thing. This was at the Salvation Army a year ago. Just a nutty planter, isn't it? There's no hole in the top for hanging. And I'm always looking for those little leaves, and I found a few of them now that I enjoy. There's my 2 tags. You don't need to see them, of course. Thought I'd put my thrifted drip glaze toad or frog down here. There are little nicks in our old glass top, so they're going to show up more with my light on. And down here, I'll sit down again, is a gift from a good YouTube friend, Dot. Dot Likes Red is her adorable YouTube channel. And I have told you about her lovely gift that she thrifted. This large candy jar. So fun. That was so thoughtful of her, because she knew I was crazy for this stuff, so she was a real sweetheart to send that to me and surprise me with that, and a adorable Christmas hot pad too, I believe. I remember. Well, here's one more drip glaze planter that I haven't shown in the entire year that I've been making videos. It's a little more than a year, actually. It was a year in March. So all this time, this monster piece was hidden back behind my couch. We just piled a bunch of cords in it for the vintage TV lamps that we had 2 of over there on the left side of the fireplace by the red couch here. It was on the floor over there. I wish we didn't have cords there, but because we have had a couple TV lamps there that Norm liked using in the early hours when he'd get up and want some ambiance in here. Anyways, this was an eBay purchase many years ago when I first started liking California pottery and all these wonderful hot colors. It is huge. I don't know if you can get an idea of how big this thing is. Sitting on top of the coffee table here. The bottom has an imprint that I think you would pronounce towel, T-O-W-E-L, spelled like towel. I haven't looked up that company to see if it was a California company or not, but it is just huge and I've always loved it. It was so inexpensive on eBay. I suppose people figured it was just going to be very costly to have it delivered, and They just probably thought it was too big, but I thought it was just super fun. And I was really worried about it getting here in one piece. And she did a wonderful job of packing it. So I've always enjoyed having this monster. I don't know if I would ever put a plant in it. I'll try it, since I decided to take it out from the corner and get the cords out of it and show you. I'll see. It should fit okay on the hearth, but I don't know what I'll put in it. Maybe I should put that cactus over there in it instead, because it's really squeezed in that pot. But we'll see. It's super fun, isn't it? Have you ever seen one that big? I'll try to put some measurements underneath here so you can maybe get an idea. Well, are you getting worn out yet? Isn't that a fun dish I found last year? This I found many years ago. It really has a lot of color, and it looks like it's kind of getting washed out with my light on. Lots of grain splatter on that. Really a fun candy dish, hobbyist piece. And there's my vintage Kleenex holder. Love those, tissue holder. And a vintage crazy pillow that I found in an antique shop for, oh, I don't know, maybe $7, something like that. I wash them all the time, I really do. And there's our starburst clock that I really love. Let's go see what I put on the piano. Here's another small, but one of my favorite splatter glazed pots that I hung on the corner here. Just love that one because it's so, I don't know, what would you call that design when it's so pinched? They call it pinched when it's at the top, but it's very accordion looking all the way around. I just love it. So I put in an orange faux cacti, Christmas cactus, succulent. I thought you'd think that was fun. And this is a really wild, more of a drip glaze in my real spider plant. So that's very fall in color, fall colored. Down here is a recent $5 little mallard planter, and these wooden cattails were my brother's. Thought it would be very fun to use those. He had a great big arrangement, so I stole the cattails from him. There's some acrylic grapes in there. And over here, just a fun gold trimmed, small little sweet brown deer planter. So that's what I did for fall. And I thought you would really get a kick out of seeing the difference. Even though at first glance you might have thought there wasn't anything different, but the TV is a big addition. I really like it. It obviously really changed our shelving to not be so balanced. Don't know what I'd do with the other side. If I ever found another table like that, you bet I'd be trying to talk Norm into it to balance it out, because I just really do like balance. And what else was I going to... Oh, yeah, and the fact that we put up the bird cages. That's very different for us, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a beautiful fall. I hope you get some color. We've had serious drought in Minnesota, so they're telling us we may not get that great a color this year. But we'll take whatever we get. We love fall. We know you do too. So thank you all so much for watching today. You have a wonderful day and hope we see you soon. Bye now.